live your dreams, write your own story. How it ends is up to you.
So hi everybody we're just going to do a live video of module number 2 or step number 2 about personal and professional success. So I'm going to keep the camera running and you can see kind of what the workshop is and kind of watch a little part about it. So everybody say hello. Hello. That was a hello, by the way. So what we're going to talk about now is personal and professional success. So what is success? Content. So let me ask you a question about success. Is success by chance, luck, or coincidence?
No.
So what is it? How do we gain success?
Bloody hard work. Bloody hard work.
Bloody hard work. Absolutely. Bloody hard work. But we have a lot of people who work really, really hard that are not successful. So there's something else going on, isn't there? Because we have a lot of people who work really, really hard, but they wouldn't consider themselves to be successful. Yeah? They're just going through the motions. Yeah? They wouldn't consider themselves to be happy, they wouldn't consider, they're kind of just like, oh, I work really bloody hard and this is all I've got to show for it. So there's something else going on. So think about this, we talked about this morning. Remember we talked about when we learned to walk and learned to talk. Well, think about when we learned to ride a bike. So when we first decided we were going to learn to ride a bike, we first set a goal, didn't we, to ride the bike. So remember the wee stabilisers we had on the bike, stabilisers I call them, training wheels. So the wee training wheels. So first of all we had to decide to take them off. So we wanted to ride our bike like the big boys and girls. So we took the stabilisers off. Can everybody ride a bike, by the way? Yeah. And then we got on the bike, right? And then this is my story. So when my dad decided we were going to teach me to ride the bike. Long story short, so it was a Saturday morning. We gets the bike ready, takes the stabilisers wheels off the bike, and he goes out. And where I used to live was a big long path, right? And at the end of the path, it was maybe about 25-30 yards long. So I'm sitting on this bike, and I'm 5 or 6. And I'm sitting on this wee grifter or something, I can't remember what it was called. And he's got the back of the bike and he's saying, James, I promise I won't let go. Aye, right. So he gets me moving, and what does he do? He lets go. And what happens to me?
You're fine until you suddenly realise he's let go and then you wobble and fall off.
And you wobble and fall off. And then what do you do? So you wobble and fall off and you get back up. And you get back on and you try again. And generally, you fall off again. Or in my situation, at the end of our path was we call it a cow field. And for those who don't know what a cow is, that's a cow. For Glasgow, it's a Glasgow cow, it's called a cow. So at the end of our street there was these wire mesh, not the mesh, just a wire fence. So the amount of times that I went to the end of that, because you're so busy trying to think about balance and steering and no falling off, you forget you've got brakes. So I went through into the cow fence. And eventually you do that a few times till you work the balance. And then you learn to ride the brakes, and then you learn to ride the bike. Now that's success. Like when we learn to walk and talk. We learn from our failures. So we first set a goal. We wanted to learn to ride the bike. Then what do? We put a plan in action, didn't we? So I want to learn to ride my bike was the goal. The plan was to take the stabilisers off, was to get the bike out, was to get somebody, dad, mum, cousin, brother, sister, to help. Yeah, then to get on the bike, and then we had to do what? We had to take action, we had to actually go on the bike and ride it. And then we failed. So we get back on, we re-evaluated the plan, and this is what we don't do in life. We re-evaluated the plan here, and then we tried again. So we set a plan in action, and we took action until we learned to ride the bike. Right? So we set a goal. The goal, so this is success in everything. So we set a goal, then we plan, and then we take action. So that's success. That's how we create success in anything in our lives. Goal, want to learn to ride a bike without the stabilisers on, play with the big boys and girls, whatever your story may be. Then we planned it. We had to go get the tools, we had to get somebody to take the stabilisers off, we had to actually go through the motion, and then we had to actually take action, or we would never have learned to ride the bike. And that's the same for success in every aspect of your life. It doesn't happen by chance, it doesn't happen by luck, and it is certainly not a coincidence. It is a physical set of actions and goals that we put in place and we do to create success. And everything that we've done. Remember we talked about walking this morning, we learned to walk and we learned to talk. We had to physically do something about it. So I want to talk about how success happens. So success happens in two worlds. Does anyone know what those two worlds are? Come on, have a guess. What do you think those two worlds are? I'll give you a clue.
In your mind.
In inner world, and then we take action as our outer world. So success happens in two worlds. Inner world, so here, set the goal. We need to think about it first, and then we set the goal, and then we need to take action. Right? So it's all success happens in two worlds, and failure, by the way, happens in two worlds. So first we've got to think about it, and then we've got to take action, or inaction. So inner world and outer world. So the inner world is called the power of thought. So we have to think about it. What is it we want? What's the outcome? What's the goal? What do I want to achieve? What is it I want? And then we need to do something about it. And this is what generally happens. When we think about something in as we get older, as we think about this is where we fail to take action. So we think, we kind of say, I would like to blah 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 blah. It makes no difference what the blah blah blah. I would like to, and then the very next thought is, but I probably can't. So then we don't take action. So it's inaction that's the failure. It's not actually trying it, it's the inaction. It's not doing something about it. And the for example that would be, who has ever went into a supermarket, right, and you've seen something you thought, no, let's rewind. So who's ever thought of creating something, like you've had a new idea, or you've had a new something that you think, oh, that'd be great if I designed this, or if I built this, or if you thought about something you would like to have created. You're an entrepreneur, and then you walk in 6 months later at the supermarket and somebody else has done it. And you've thought, oh, I had that idea first. Have you ever done that?
Yeah.
Well, what's the difference between them and you?
They did it? Yeah.
They took action. They had the same thought.
Yeah.
They had the same thought. But the difference between them and you was they thought about it, and then they thought about it again, and then they thought about it again, and then they thought, you know what, I'm going to do something about this. And then they actually went and took action. And that's the only difference. The only difference between them and you, success and failure. Think about it and do something about it. That's the difference. We've all done that. We've all thought about something in our life, we've thought, that'd be a great idea. And 6 months later somebody else has done it, and you're like, oh, I could have been a multi-millionaire if I'd just done that. We've all been in that position. So I want to talk about law of cause and effect. I mean, we talked about this morning, about why we do the things we do, what we attract in our life. So, does everybody drive? Well, you don't drive.
Mm-hmm.
So, can you remember when your mum, your dad, when you bought your last new car? Everybody remember that? And you go and you decide, you maybe do a bit of research and which car, or car reviews, and we read about the car, or we just go into a showroom, we see one and we like it, and we buy the car. And then we drive out the showroom, and what happens?
Loses about 30% of its value.
Apart from losing 30% of value, but that's a pretty good, I've never heard that one before. But other than it loses 30% of its value, you see the car everywhere. When you're driving the car, oh geez, there another, you actually see the car everywhere. Why is that? What happens? So, before you bought the car, you maybe see them every now and again.
Yeah.
But the minute you drive out in that car, it's everywhere.
It's in your head. Yeah.
Because
It's in your head.
it's in your head. You are thinking about it.
Yeah.
So it's a dominant thought. And normally for the next few months, you see the cars everywhere, and then you forget about it, and then you don't see them any longer. But they're all still there. Now that is the same with everything in life. See if you create a dominant thought, by the positive and negative. If you have a dominant thought, something that you think about all the time, you will attract that in your life. Remember we talked about that, how come I always meet all the arseholes? How do I always attract them? Your dominant thought before you probably walk out that door is, just don't want to meet somebody like that again. I really want better than that. I don't want to meet the I don't want, and guess what? We do. And that's the same with everything in life. What we focus on the most, and focus is the key here. Whatever we focus on, we attract back in our lives. We start to see it. And it's the same with opportunity. Now think about this for an opportunity. So let's say you're really focused and you're again a growth mindset and you're really positive and you're focusing on positive. What do you think you're going to find? Think about the car. So if I'm thinking about opportunity and positive, I'm going to see positive opportunities. Now the opposite is also true. So let's say I'm in a really bad place. I've got a shit boss, I'm going through a bad relationship. And I'm in a not very good mindset. My mind is really not where it needs to be. What am I going to see and attract? I'm going to see first of all, I'm going to surround myself with people just like me. Right? Secondly, I'm going to attract the people and those things in my life. You want people always say, why is it I always seem to attract the same person, the same luck? If it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck. No shit, Sherlock. No shit. Because in their mind, it's just no my day. I'm having one of these days. The focus is on the negative.
Yeah.
That's where we're focusing. We're putting our mind to the negative rather than the positive. We get to choose. It's like waking up in the morning and banging your toe, for example, and you're like, oh, bloody one of these days again, and the rest of the day turns out exactly the same.
Because you're setting that precedent.
Because you're setting that, exactly. You're setting that in your mind. Your dominant thought is why all the things that you don't want rather than what you do want. That becomes your dominant thought. And that's the power of thought. The thing that you think about the most you will attract, you will see it. And the opposite is, so let's say, so you're a really positive person and you're growing a business or you're starting out a new life and you're really focusing on, how you're going to make things good for yourself. And that is your number one focus, is about how you're going to change your life around. And when negative things happen, you don't take it on board. You kind of just dismiss it and you let it go and it's somebody else's problem and you keep moving forward. But see, when you're negative focused, when negative things happen, see, it always happens to me. See, we expect it. We start to attract it in our lives because we expect it to happen. And that's the difference between having that focus on what we want versus what we don't want. Remember we talked about right at the start as well, if you think you can and think you can't, you're right. So if your thought processes and why something won't happen, guess what? The chances are it probably won't happen. Versus the other side. And that's the power of thought. That's the laws of cause and effect. You're creating it. So, traits and characteristics of highly successful people. So, who is somebody, Dennis, that you consider to be really successful?
Richard Branson.
One of my heroes as well. What's some of his traits and characteristics?
The fact that he's prepared to put himself out there and potentially look ridiculous because it keeps him in your mind and the headlines and whatever else. And otherwise, he has a stammer. He hates public speaking, but he specifically makes himself go through the public speaking bit because he knows only he can really sell his own company. Nobody else can do what he does. He's got passion.
So what?
Driven.
Passion.
Yeah.
Driven.
Yeah.
That's a trait and a characteristic. What else does he show? He's a big people person. He believes people. Anybody else you would consider to be highly successful? Who's somebody successful that you would kind of say, they're really quite successful? Sir Alan Sugar. So what's a trait or characteristic of Alan Sugar? Anything. What does he do? What does he show? Well, determination for one. He's determined, isn't he? Really, really determined. Angela, traits and characteristics of someone that's really successful in your eyes.
Determination, thinking positive and be proactive in moving forward.
Do you know what's really strange, right? Every time I ask this question, it's the exact same things. You know what people don't say? People don't say they've got a degree. People don't say they came from such and such a place. People don't say they were born into money. People, every time I ask this question, it's always a mindset. Determination's a what? Mindset. Focus is a mindset. What was the other words? Passion is a mindset. So a mindset, we choose to either be growth or we choose to be in a fixed mindset. So we make that choice. So all highly successful people have made a choice how they want to be. So it's a choice. Traits and characteristics is a choice. Now, you can model people who are successful. You can model those traits and characteristics, and you can be successful to a certain point. So these are what normally comes up. So determined, focus, commitment. They're committed. Most highly successful people are really confident. You mentioned Richard Branson. He just has this aura, the confidence about him. But he's just a normal man. He doesn't walk about. He's not an arrogant man. He's just really confident about what he does. And the reason that I look up to him is he makes everything look so simple. People work hard. That's normally one that comes up a lot. And they're consistent. They don't just try once or twice and then give up. They keep pushing and they keep pushing. And because actual fact, most really highly successful people have failed numerous times to get to that point. Remember we talked about earlier on Lionel Messi. It took me 17 years and 114 days to be an overnight success. It never happens overnight. Silver bullets don't work. It's hard work, determination, confidence, commitment. They're very empathetic. Most highly successful people have a high degree of empathy. And they love life. They look forward to life. They enjoy their life. They're not living in this self-talk of poor me. They're not living in that self-talk of I've made my bed, I need to lie in it. They're not living in the world of why them, no me. Bullshit. Do something about it. That's the world they live in. If I can, I will. If not now, then when? If not me, then who? That's the world that highly successful people live in. And everybody can live in that world. That's a choice. Because they're mindsets. They're only mindsets. So it's a choice that we get to make every day. Remember we talked about earlier on about that page. Every morning you wake up, that book of life, that story, that story that we get to write every single day. It's your page. It's your story. You can wake up tomorrow and you can write the same shit and go through the same stuff. Or you can say, you know what? See for the next month, I wonder if. But to do that, we need to know where that is. What is the destination and where is that? So, how do successful people think? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a wee video about how successful people think.